Okay, today's lesson is 7.5, and it is graphing systems of inequalities. Okay, so this is similar to section 7.1, where we graph systems of equations, but now we're graphing systems of inequalities. So, for example, if we were to graph the equations y is less than 2x plus 2, and y is greater than or equal to negative x minus 3, this is how we would do it. We would first of all, set up our axes here. Okay. And we would first of all graph them like we normally would. Okay, the y-intercept for the first equation is 2. So I'll go to 2 on the y-axis. And then the slope is 2. So I'm going to go up 2 over 1 and up 2 over 1. Okay. And I know because it's a less than, not a less than or equal to, that has to be a dashed line. So I'll make a dashed line going through those points. Okay, so then I come over to the next equation. The next equation has this y-intercept of negative 3. So I'll go down 1, 2, 3 and put my dot there. And then I have a slope of negative 1. So that's down 1 over 1. And I put my points there. This is a greater than or equal to, so I know it's going to be a solid line. So I'll draw a solid line going through those points. Okay, so I'm not done because we know with inequalities that we have to do shading. Okay, so if I'm going to shade the area that is a solution to both of these. Okay, so for instance, the y is less than 2x plus 2, that would be everything on this side of the line. The shading would be over here. Okay. And then the next one, y is greater than negative x minus 3, I would then shade above this line. Okay, so I would shade everything this way. Okay, so the area that's the solution set to these two inequalities is this area right here. Okay, this is the area where the shading overlaps. So any point that I would pick that would be inside that shading, the area where the shading overlaps, would be a solution to the system of inequalities. Okay, let's do another example. If we have the equations y is, let me rewrite that, y is greater than or equal to negative 3x plus 1, and let's see, y is less than or equal to negative 3x minus 2. Okay, if we graph those, okay, we have, for the first equation, I go to 1 on the y-axis, and then I go down 3 over 1. Okay, so then we would draw a nice straight line, hopefully, that would go through those points. Okay, well that wasn't exactly nice and straight, but I guess that's the best we're going to do with this. And then go ahead and graph the second equation, which was y is negative 3x minus, y is less than or equal to negative 3x minus 2. So I go to negative 2 on the y-axis and then go down 3 over 1. And of course the slope is the same. So because they have the same slope, that means that the lines are parallel to one another. So I'll go ahead and try to draw a straighter line this time. There we go, that's better. And then I have shading to do. So for the first line, it was y is greater than negative 3x plus 1. So my shading will be everywhere above that line. For the second line, y is less than or equal to negative 3x minus 2, because it's less than or equal to, the shading would be below. And of course we can see here that the shading doesn't overlap anywhere, okay? If you're graphing a system of inequalities and the shading does not overlap, that means that what you have as your answer is no solution, okay? These areas do not overlap, therefore there is no solution to this system of inequalities. So that's the lesson for today. That's what we'll be doing in class, is graphing inequalities.